Bonjour and welcome to Marie+One. I'm Marie, and today's plus ones are Timothy and Tim from Hydrobar. Hey guys, how are you doing?
Doing great.
Awesome. Great. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for being here. For those of our viewers that don't know you yet, would you like to introduce yourself in a few words for us?
Go ahead.
I'm Timothy Baca. I'm one of the partners at the Hydrobar. Born and raised in Albuquerque. I'm 29 years old. And me and my dad, we're just growing our business together, making great things happen.
Yeah, we so about 11 years ago, I was introduced to Kangen water. I didn't buy into it right away. This person I knew kept telling me about it, and once I started researching it, I found out that it was an amazing product. I ended up purchasing a unit, for my home. Mm-hmm. And that's where it all started because at the time I had really bad acid reflux, and it really helped, honestly. Okay. That's a true story. So then I became a believer in ionized alkaline water. From there, just shared it with people. No intentions to really have a business. For about 2 years, I just gave the water to people. And the stories that I heard were just unbelievable. And so from there, it just kind of took a life of its own. And, finally, after like 4 years of just giving the water away for free, we decided, hey, let's open up a place where people have access to the units. Mm-hmm. They have access to the information. And so Tim joined me, another partner, his name's Dennis. And we opened up, there was another guy named John at the time, and we opened up Hydrobar about 7 years ago. And it's been unbelievable. Mm-mm. Now it's still local. We haven't really expanded, mm-hmm. but we have a good reach. We work with a lot of amazing people. We work with like UNM football, UNM basketball. We work with Jackson Wink MMA. So we have a lot of great people that we partnered with, and we just keep making partnerships. So it's been a great ride, I would say. Really great ride.
It sounds fun. It's interesting because I feel like it's been a little trendy to drink ionized water, right? There's like a lot of marketings, new like bottles that you see every other day. But to hear that you've been using that machine, for 11 years already, it means that it's not just a trendy thing. Mm-hmm. It's actually something that's been around, and that's working for a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that's been the thing is we've worked on it every day, making water cool again and just having fun with it. And that's kind of what we've worked on as far as building our brand, is to like make it an education and community center where people can come to, test their water, try the water. We can teach them and answer any questions they have. And then from there, because at the beginning, when we started early, we were under the Kangen Water Store, and we later on rebranded to the Hydrobar. And so that's a whole story in itself of how we've started, and just seeing where it's came to now, mm-hmm. and just how people are seeing the bag and they're asking questions, and we're putting out new designs so it's more fun to carry around. So mm-hmm. I think the bag has been our best tool, but people now finding out what's in it, it's fresh alkaline ionized water. They're excited to drink it because they want to feel better.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Okay. So I have a couple of questions about the company and all that good stuff, but just to keep everybody, around. First, I would like to kind of know you guys and who is behind the Hydrobar, and how it came to be. And so, Timothy, you told us you're 29, and yes. Tim is your dad. Do you mind telling us your age?
So I'm 55.
Okay.
And see, my background is kind of diverse. I got my degree in broadcasting, so I worked in TV for a long time. Production. I even had my own little production studio for about 10 years. I worked for the local TV stations. But that was kind of my passion. And then I got into sales, and I owned different companies. We even had childcare centers for a while. So I've always been more on the entrepreneurial side of everything, even though I've had jobs in the past. But that's kind of what I never thought I would get into water. It was that was just a chance. It just happened.
Mm-mm.
And I think it happened because, people were seeing results, and you're thinking, well, I can bring this to the masses, and we want to educate as many people as we can.
Right.
But so like, it's me, it's my wife, Julie, who's part of the store. Tim is a partner. And then I have a son, Nico, that's just graduated from college. And then my daughter, she's a year older than Timothy, and she lives in Florida. She's a nurse. So small family, but, we're always kind of on the go, and we're always looking for opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And we, it's been a blast, all the things we've done,
Oh, I'm sure. You say small family. Some would say it's already a big one. I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters, so compared to my family, it's a small family. But compared to a lot of others, it's already a pretty family. So, are you New Mexico born and raised?
Yes. So I was born in Santa Rosa,
Okay.
which is like 117 miles from right here, and went to college, Eastern New Mexico University. Graduated with a degree in broadcasting. But, in this market, there's only so many avenues, and I didn't want to leave at the time. So that's kind of what got me to do other things, because I saw other opportunities out there. But I still love the video side. And now with the water, when I teamed up when Tim decided he wanted to join in, and he actually left school, and and I was okay with that at the time, because I saw the vision of where we were going.
Oh, yeah.
And then Tim became like the marketing guy, the marketing guru for this. And so his day-to-day is sitting with a professional artist and creating all the cool stuff that we have. And that's really what brings, life to what we do. So with that said, we get a lot of attention that way. And then we can back it up with good water, good technology. And, that's what, we're just having a lot of fun. So we've built like a culture with this. There's like a culture
Mm-hmm.
with what we're doing. And it makes it fun. You go to our store, you go to Hydrobar, people are having fun. There's a good vibe.
Yeah.
People enjoy being there. It feels good, and they're getting a quality product, So you can't ask for a better career. You can't.
Mm-mm. Did your wife join you in this adventure right away, or was she first like having another career and then jumped in later, or how did that go?
So we started, back in 2000, take that back to 2000. It was a crazy story. My wife was doing home childcare, and I kept telling her, let's just do a full-blown childcare center. And to make a long story short, we didn't have the money. We didn't have the business plan. We started our first commercial center with 7 credit cards and just a crazy idea. Mm-hmm. And we made it happen. And then we ended up with 2 childcare centers 10 years later. And so we were in that business for over 20 years commercially.
Okay.
And so during COVID, we decided to sell our second school, which we had already sold the first one. And so then I told Julie, why don't you join us at Hydrobar? And so with Julie there, she has her own little oxygen bar that she does.
Nice.
And she kind of focuses on the beauty side of it, because our machine makes beauty water. It makes, different products for that. So she kind of focuses on the beauty side, and she has all the ladies, interested in that stuff. But it's nice. It's family, it's great to it's good and bad when you work with family, but it's always good.
Yes.
It's always good.
It seems that it's at least a good ambiance, like you said, a good atmosphere and to work with. But like you said, it can also be tricky sometimes to bring some stuff to the table.
Yeah.
That have
It
to.
is.
Yeah. So okay. So when so you said you were born in Santa Rosa, and when did you move to Albuquerque? Did you tell us this?
I moved to Albuquerque in 92.
Okay. Ooh,
So
I
that's
was
when I
minus
graduated.
one.
Yeah, I graduated. What's that?
I was -1.
You're
Oh,
93.
minus one?
Yeah.
I'm 95.
93?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so we're not far in age. That's
Mm-mm.
cool.
Yeah, so 92. And I went to work for KOAT TV, which
Okay.
is the channel 7 here.
Okay.
And it was a blast.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, I worked I was a news photographer. I was in the field. Got to meet so many people in this town.
You got to interview Michael
Yeah.
Jordan.
Oh, for real?
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, the opportunities you have with media, you know, you get to be around presidents and star athletes and stuff.
Well, you have to be ready for it too, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was the fun part, you know. But, you know, in order to make decent money, you have to move around. You got to go to other states and all that, and we just weren't ready for that. So we looked at other ways to
Stay in.
to stay in New Mexico.
And how did you meet Julie?
So actually, I met her when I was growing up. She grew up in Santa Rosa as well.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
did you both like move to Albuquerque together, or?
Actually, no. It was funny. We dated throughout high school, and then off and on through college. And I moved up here, and believe it or not, I graduated from Eastern New Mexico University. So when I graduated, guess what? She moved over there. She started going to school again because she had stopped for a while. And then it was back and forth. And then she ended up moving back to Albuquerque, and we got together. And we had my daughter, Leandra. So that was cool. It was cool. And so, and then when she was, when my daughter was growing up, she worked at a childcare center. And then it wasn't worth it, because you're paying for childcare. You work there, like your whole check goes to
Oh, yes.
like childcare. So then she's like, I'm just going to start doing it myself, And then, and so when we opened up our first center, she was doing it basically because she didn't want to go to work. She wanted to watch her own kids. So our goal was when the kids all graduated, when they were all out of the house, then that would be the end of it. And so when my son Nico was graduating, it was during COVID, and we were like, hey, we had this plan, right, to be done. So it just kind of happened that way. And COVID helped because, when you're getting shut down and, it wasn't that bad, but,
It's kind of a sign of the universe to be like, all right, hey, remember?
It's time.
It's time.
And I like it the way it is now because Julie has a lot of free time. And, we take turns at the Hydrobar. So Tim works like Mondays and my wife works Tuesdays and I work Thursdays. And we divvy up the schedule. So somebody's always there. But we have a lot of free time too. And when we're not at the store, Tim and I are out in the field, working with all our different partners. We have machines, like you can explain where we have the machines, Tim.
We've been, even just this last week, we did a machine at New Mexico United. The week before we were in Nashville doing one for the quarterback for Vanderbilt.
Oh, heck yeah.
This week alone, a handful of different businesses purchased their machines. But it's cool because most of the time we're going in and we're meeting with the owner of the business or meeting with the person who makes the decision. So we get to talk to them about ways of getting creative, of co-branding each other's brands and making it to where, we both win, and so that's been the fun part about it is Jersey Jacks at UNMH, they have the water there. Jackson Wink, the UFC gym, they have the water. We put a lot of machines over at the pit, the Lobo football stadium. I think my dad's put about 4 machines over there. So all the players there are walking around with water bags. We're over here on our phones on TikTok, and we're seeing players walking around posting them in their TikTok. So it's like, it's crazy to see that it's making its way. And even now, one of the big reasons we got United was because a lot of the players were coming to the store to get the water, but they were also being able to take it with them when they travel. So they're able to fly with the water because it's medical water. So then now these players are one of, 20 players that have a bag on the plane. So everyone's curious. So now hopefully, they're traveling with us everywhere they go.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, we were talking about it off camera earlier, but the design, your new bag, it's super practical and it's super easy to also just like pop it on a story and just show it around. And, so no. And then, I mean, I kind of want to still like talk about, we'll go back to the personal in a second, but what I love about this too is that you said, it's, oh, there we go. On this side, you can see that by Kangen.
Yes.
Kangen. I don't know how you say it
Yes,
right.
Kangen.
However,
Kangen or Kongen.
There we go. And so I feel like it's subtle because, you know, you kind of, you see alkaline water, but it's not really like super like in your face, the
Yeah.
branding. And I love that it's like Hydrobar. So, you know,
Yeah.
but I have a couple questions about all that and maybe like a stereotypical like thing we think about when we think about Kangen water. But before that, stay tuned because
Yeah.
first I wanted to ask you. So, how was it growing up with parents that are super in the entrepreneurial world and, you know, not really, it's not a, you're not a traditional family because so far in even in my family, I've met a lot of people that, you know, their parents are 9 to 5 people, right? And so, I mean, when you have entrepreneurial, oh, that's hard to say, parents, I see that now with me and my husband and we have a little son, but it's nonstop. So how was that growing up?
it was I grew up like waking up in the morning and like I'd be sleeping on like stacked cots and like I'd already get out of the bedroom and there's kids running around. So I grew up and I didn't really know the difference. Like we had home daycare with my dad, waking up with him early in the morning, drive to his work to watch him edit videos. I'd just hang out there. Being able to see this like firsthand was awesome because I didn't think that this is what I would be able to get to do forever. And I love doing this. I love the freedom that it comes with it and just the opportunities that we get. And I was just excited about being involved. But growing up, I saw my parents do different businesses, from owning different companies to home daycare, different network marketing companies that were around at the time. And it was motivating because my dad was always the guy at the top, like motivating people and getting people together and having events and like bringing in community. So I saw that at a young age. So it was motivating because I was wanting to be in that same type of thing. But at the time I had been in school, so many different people were like, oh, well, go to school for this, go to college, get a good job. Like I didn't think that was going to be what I was going to do. But I tried it. So I went to school at CNM after high school at the main campus, and then I did the Montoya campus. Then I went back to the main campus, and at that time I was going for fire science to be a firefighter, and then I switched to business, and then I switched to film at the Advanced Technology Center. So I got to see and learn how these guys are shooting their shots and getting their angles. So I was excited about that. I was like, I wanted like use this skill set. But then I seen my dad sharing this water. I saw him with his buddy in the morning, waking up, filling up 50 gallons and having them on the island before they went out and met people. And they were going out having fun, meeting business owners, helping people out. People are calling them, telling them how they feel in their story. And so I'm seeing all this and I'm like, I'm going to school. I'm serving at the Cheesecake Factory. I don't have any plan for like what I'm trying to do after. I was like, this looks like a really good opportunity. And so I started to like take what they did a little bit more serious. I started to try to get involved. And then I asked my dad, I was like, can I leave for a semester? I thought about going to the military. I didn't, my parents were taking me to go meet with like recruiters because I was like, I don't know if like I'm doing this thing right. And so I ended up taking a semester off. I got involved. I didn't do that amazing in my first like 60, 93 months, 6 months, but I just kept doing it. And even when I was starting to do it in like on Facebook and posting, I remember my dad would tell me, it'd be like, he's like, don't stop like doing what you're doing because you might not see it, but other people see it. So just keep doing it. So then I never stopped. And then we got into a new location from our kitchen that we were in. And then we were the Kangen Water Store. And then eventually we were building so much momentum that we rebranded to the Hydrobar. And Hydrobar was worked on with myself, my dad, and our partner Kellogg, who does all our designing. But hydro is ancient, retro water, and bar is modern social. So Hydrobar became our name, and that's exactly what the location is. It's a networking, pop open your laptop, hang out, invite your buddies, have a cup of water. We'll like, you know, you can hang out all day, use our Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the environment we've made it. Good music, good water, And then all day long, we're getting people that come into our store that they played for this team, or they heard about it from a person we posted on social media. So it's been fun. We have a good time doing this.
I love that. See, because I'm not a coffee drinker, and there's so many coffee places where you can go and work. I would love to just go and just have water.
And people do. They hang out there all the time. But, being an entrepreneur, I told them from the beginning, it's not like a 9 to 5, like I've never really been the 9 to 5, but it's, you have your ups and downs, sometimes it's great and then it's going good. But you have to be able to weather the storm, So that's just the way it is. I've told them that for years, it's like, but once you go that direction, it's hard to go backwards, because once you're like, you have that freedom, like today, what is it today?
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, right? So I don't even know the day of the week half the time. But it's like I can come and hang out here for a couple hours. I don't have to, really, be somewhere like as long as I'm covering, somebody's at the store. But that's the beauty of being on your own and stuff. But at the same time, you do work the extra hours. You do work the later days. So it's nice. I wouldn't do it any other way.
You got to do, like you said, we do the things sometimes, like when I was first getting started and I was trying to get people to own these machines of their own, I would go and I would do presentations or drop off water at different businesses all day, and I would collect leads, and my dad would call me and tell me, he's like, you still got to go do this presentation. It's at 5. And I wouldn't want to go do it, and I would do it. But then I would stay there for 2 hours and I'd make new friends. And then those people love our store and they'll come back and see us. But like you said, it wasn't always, there's those times you spend 3 hours with somebody, they don't do anything. They're like, we'll talk about it. So that's okay. And I think about that all the time. We talk about it, is that if we were in another state where people had a little more disposable income, they might just buy it on the spot. But here we work a little bit harder to get those sales or to convert. But that makes me feel better about it, because if we go to those other places, we're going to have those answers to those questions, and we're going to be able to overcome objections. And it's just, it's working, even though we're not seeing it in the background.
And aren't people here also more loyal because of the work you have to do to win them over, let's say?
Yeah, I think, most people are, not everyone. I mean, it depends. I mean, we do the best we can to build rapport and relationships. We have a community, and so we hope that people appreciate the knowledge we offer and the customer service we offer, because I think that's our number one thing, is we offer great customer service. And we've built some great friends through our store. And I always tell Tim, like, you always want to add value. Like, people that we meet, we find out they're, a landscaper, and we're trying to find them jobs because we want to bring value to them. And that's how this community works. And so we see a lot of that in our store, where those people, they appreciate that, and then they bring new people in. So you gotta always be providing value as much as you can, because it all comes back anyway. But that's where we spend a lot of our time, is just getting to know people. And once they're on this water, it's hard for them to drink another
something else
water. And they tell us every day, how they feel and how it makes them feel. And like, they notice it when they're not drinking it. If they're out of town for a few days, they'll come back and say, man, I really missed it. Like, I could tell the difference. So it's just, in this market, it's a small market, and you got to get involved in the community. You have to, provide a lot of value, and it just all works out that way. So you don't really have to do as much marketing out there.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I was going to piggyback off what he said. Like, the word of mouth marketing is the best marketing for sure. Because I feel like you're going to take that. It's like going to your friend telling you to go see a movie or go try this restaurant. People say, try this water. And then people get excited, because especially in New Mexico, we're in a desert. It's hot. Oh, yes. So people they love when they experience it for the first time.
Plus, it's trendy now. So, if you can support a local business. But to be able to do that, you need some pretty strong people skills. And I like to say that it's really like, to me, like one type of intelligence in itself, because not everybody is good at talking or just, like making friends or, just being a people person. Would you, both of you, would you think that you grew up to be like an introvert, an extrovert? Did you always have like a lot of friends? How was it for you, like growing up to today?
Yeah, I think our personalities are pretty the same. I mean, we're very social. I think he's just as social as I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
I can tell.
My wife is the same way, and I think that means a lot, because I think everybody has a different role in life, and like me, I wasn't big with a lot of my school stuff. Like I hated math, I hated, science. Like there's certain things I didn't care for in school. Even in college, when I was in college, I got into the TV program, and I thrived in the TV program. So I got straight A's in TV programs. It would offset my C's or my D's in the other studies, but it all averaged out, right? So I feel like, people have personalities for the right reasons, and it's like for us, it was about, helping people, and we're in the sales kind of business. Mm-hmm. So relationship business. Mm-hmm. So I think it works. It works.
Yeah, I would agree with him. Like early on, I was learning from them how to shake people's hands and how to introduce myself, and even just sparking conversations. I worked at Foot Locker for a while, and that's what they always had us doing, was going up to people and asking them a question. So I think learning those little things helped me a lot. Mm-hmm. And then having my dad around is very helpful too.
But you know what? It's funny when I hear you, I feel like I see myself a lot in this relationship with your dad and with my dad in different ways. So growing up, my dad, we were always doing something. We were a family of 8. We were always hosting because nobody would invite us, of course.
Yeah,
we were too many.
Yeah, too many.
So we were always...
You don't eat them out of home there, huh?
Yes.
Yes.
So, and same, we would not really go eat out because, man, it was like a salary worth for, to go anywhere. But so we would host a lot. And so it was always like getting the house ready, like prepping the table, prepping the food with my dad, then washing the dishes and all that because no dishwasher. That traumatized me. But it was always on the go, and there was always something to do. And, it's funny because he was always like a salesperson in a sense too. First, he started his career. As a barman, so he was super social with people. And then for all the kids, he moved them to mail carrier career because starting early, but then he was out early. So my stepmother would take care of us in the morning, and then he would come to pick us in school in the afternoon. And then we grew up, and we just took care of each other, all the kids. Which I wanna know something after that. I can't forget. I'm just gonna write after 3, and so that I can remember. I started to do notes because my mind goes everywhere, and I think that's also thanks to my dad.
Yeah.
So after he started an association to help homeless people because he saw like a homeless person sleep on a bench close to where we lived, and he was like, what? Like he went home and he told me like, help me pack a sandwich, like make a coffee, like because also my dad had a lot of ideas, but we were the little hands that were making it all happen. And so we went to help that man, and all of a sudden we started an association. We started to go to make food, and every Friday we would go to the train station and give food to all the homeless and gather clothes and waters and all that. It became a really big thing, and we all got like thrown in. But I feel like we almost had the same like childhood of whatever your parents were doing, you were like sure, and you were just like
you're
part of it. And so I'm curious to know, where does this all come from? Could you pinpoint like something somewhere in your life that made you this way? Or I don't know if it's the right way to say, but it's like, where does that thrive come from?
That's interesting. I don't know, honestly. I don't. like ever since I was a kid, I had jobs and I sold newspapers. I bussed tables. I mean, I always had, like, I never felt like asking my parents for money all the time, even though they helped me, they did. But I remember my dad working very hard, and I felt guilty asking him for money. You know, I was like, oh, I'll just go sell newspapers. You know, I don't want to ask. Like, I didn't know if he had money or not. They did, but I didn't know that.
Okay.
I just saw him working hard, and I felt guilty that.
Oh, I see.
You know, there was kind of a guilt, I think.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have 2 brothers. They're younger.
Younger? So you're the older brother?
I was the oldest one, so I was the one that, you know, but.
That is interesting.
You know.
So, okay. See, it's funny because for us, being, you know, 3 brothers, 3 sisters, my dad always said, if you want, how do you say that in English again? I feel like I've asked this on the show a couple times. In Dutch, we say spaargeld. That's money that you get from your parents weekly.
Allowance.
It was like, if you want allowance, if I give you 5, I need to give everybody 5. All of a sudden, it's not 5; it's 5 times 7. So no, 5 times 7. And so I was like, oh, so yeah, I started working at 14 too, and same. It's like, you know. And then when I started working, I would like buy myself clothes because my parents always said, well, buy you guys the essential. If you want anything else, that's on you. And so, you know, it was like, oh, and so I would buy me something, but then I didn't want to go home and have like stuff just for me, so I bought it for all my brothers and sisters too. And so it was just like always a family affair. But no, I love your energy because I'm so similar. It's always like family, but it's also always like on to the next thing. And
yeah,
we're the same as you though. Like if like he goes to go get a coffee, he comes back with 3, or like if I go get drinks or lunch, we're doing it for everybody.
Right.
That's how we kind of do it. It's like I feel that same way when we go on like vacation. I'm like, I'm out there with some buddies, or I'm out there with my girlfriend, and I'm like, I wish my parents were here. I wish my sibling. I wish we could all enjoy this together. I don't know if it's just something in you, but
right.
But I think, yeah.
So yeah, I wonder if it's like personality, if you're like born this way, or
I was gonna say I feel like I'm born this way because I used to see him. Well, when I lived at my parents' house, I would see him like up at 7, 6:30, 6. We used to wake up early, like 5:30, to go, you know, open up their daycare center at 6. But I would wake up, you know, as I got into high school, like 8 or 9. My dad would be like, people already started their morning. People already got 2 hours in on before you. I feel all guilty sleeping in. So now I live on my own. I'm like, I feel bad sometimes sleeping until like 9. I'm like, I got to have one day a week.
Lost a day already.
Exactly.
It's funny because like, of course you don't know my dad, but I feel like you're so similar to him. And I mean, you know, that's why I'm like, wait, like, on Earth, like you're here in the US, my dad is in Belgium, like how come you're so similar? So yeah, I'm just trying to pinpoint like where does it come from.
It feels good to wake up early though. Like when I'm up early, like I kind of feel like I'm ahead of the game. Like I'm up and other people aren't, and I'm like I'm out, there's opportunities. I'm like, that's the way I feel. But there's something about me, I have to be doing something. And even my wife, she was never really big on, like, she likes to relax and enjoy and all this. And she became more entrepreneurial than she's ever thought she was. Oh. And she tells us that. She didn't realize she was going to be, her own boss at that time. I kind of just said, we're doing this and you're running this and I'll help you with it. And when we opened our first school, it was like, I'll handle the marketing and I'll deal with the accountants, but you got to be there on the day to day. And, it was impressive that she was there every single day. And then over time we started finding help, and then, then she could back off and she could, enjoy her day and take time off. And, but it took that grind at the beginning. And so, and it was not always easy. I mean, I remember, in that school, there was times where we had tough months and you don't get a paycheck that month. You're the last person to get paid. Even though they say pay yourself first, it doesn't always work that way, because you got overhead and you got salaries, and people depend on that. So entrepreneurship is, it can be great, it can be tough at times, but it's if you're willing to grind it out, But I think that's why the kids grew up the way they did, because they grew up in the business too, and so that's what they know.
Yeah, I feel like you have to, people sometimes like see you now, right? They see you now and it looks easy, but it's not. And I think people forget like what you, you had to do to be
I
there.
got lucky.
And
I got lucky. Oh, you're lucky.
Or you're really rich. You're really
you're rich. You're lucky.
You own a business, you're rich.
Oh, you have the nice truck, so you're rich. No, I have a truck payment. I just got a bigger truck payment. But it's that perception people have, but they think like, I don't know how, how did like, it didn't happen overnight. It's like a work in progress all the time. Like, you never know.
No. But they see you with a smile on your face, so you make it look easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just because you like it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're passionate.
Right.
There's a passion behind it. Because some people aren't passionate about what they do.
No.
They go in and they do what they have to do because it might be a great paying job. It might be, a career that they have 20 some years in and they have 7 more years to retire, whatever it is. And that's how some people are. That's great. But, for me, I have to be stimulated constantly what I'm doing. Like if I'm not having a good time, I'm going to do something else. And I caught myself years ago in a situation where I was working for it was the state of New Mexico actually. And I had a great job, but I just wasn't happy. And I spent way more time there than I really should have. And, I don't like to say regret because I really don't, but I wish I could have pivoted at that point. Because when you're not really happy with something, it's like, it's a long day. So I think people should really find their passion. Hopefully it'll make money. It'll pay bills. Because a lot of people have passions and they don't make money. So there's a difference. So you got to find something you're very passionate, but you also have to make sure that
and put the time into
it's
it.
lucrative.
Because for me, like I take the podcast as an example. I think that's really what I'm meant to do, and I want to do for the rest of my life. But right now, it's costing me money. It's not making any. So yeah. But the thing is, I have a full-time job, I have a baby, I have a home to take care of, and I have the podcast. And so I'm like, okay, I need to somehow find like more space for the podcast and put that time into it to grow it so that it can become my full-time job or my full-time passion. But yeah, sometimes people think that, they post every day for 30 days and then they're going to be millionaires. And it takes longer than that.
Yeah.
But if you're consistent at it and you're having fun and you look like you have a great time, I think you're going to meet so many people and advertisers and you're going to learn more about monetizing the channel.
So I want to come back to my after 3. So I wrote that because my dad always said that after 3 kids, and you have 4.
3.
3. Oh,
3.
So you just had a limit. It's okay.
Yeah.
He always said, a miscalculation. He always said that after 3, you don't see the difference. But yes, because so it was me, my 2 sisters. We're kind of like, so I'm 93, then it's like 4 years, and then it's 18 months between them 2. And then after that, my next brother is like 12 years after. So he said we don't see the difference because we took care of the little ones.
Yes.
But he always said, you make food for 3, you make food for 4, you make food for 5. It's the same.
The same.
Ish. But so I was wondering what your take on it, even just with 3. Did you see like a huge difference between 1, 2, and 3?
Well, I'll tell you what's really funny, and yeah, they're probably. I don't think there's a big difference, because you just spread it around, right? Like everything just kind of works out. It's weird, but one thing did happen. So when we had our 3rd, my wife Julie was pregnant, and we owned a childcare center, but we were only licensed from like 2 years up.
Oh.
So not thinking about it, we're having our son Nico. And then the state came in for their visits, and they're like, hey, what are you going to do with your newborn? And my wife's like, he will come to the school with me. And they're like, you're not licensed for infants. And she's like, well, he's my son. He's my baby.
Right.
It doesn't matter. She's like, you're going to have to. And we would never we didn't want to put our kids in childcare center.
Yeah.
And so that was a rude awakening. So it did impact us financially because she ended up finding somebody to come to our house. And so that was expensive. The third one was more expensive
Okay.
because we had to bring in a nanny basically
Oh,
because
yeah.
she wanted.
And do you know what's the difference? Is there like, or did she need some more like education in some ways?
No, I
or?
think she was just felt more comfortable,
Okay.
you know, because she wanted to watch him.
Yeah.
So it was like it was a compromise. But that's just a little side side note. But you know, I think you always make it work, whether you have 2, 3, 5. I mean, look at like my grandparents, they had 12 in their family, and they lived on a little farm, and they all lived healthy, and you know, they all grew up great. You know, you make it work with the right parenting.
Did you always want children?
I didn't think about it at the time. It just, things happen, you know?
Okay. It's funny because with my husband right now, we overthink. I want 5, and my husband is like, 1 is nice. So we're like in the middle right now. We're like, oh yeah.
Have your first, couple first, and then see how that works out, right?
Well, I said that, and then when I delivered my son, I also said 1 is nice, and then I'm like, and then you forget the pain and you forget everything you go through, and now I'm like, oh,
yeah,
you would be such an amazing big brother.
That's I'm in that spot right now. I'm 29, about to be 30, and my parents and my mom keeps telling me, when am I going to have a kid?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because we have no grandchildren, but Julie's like, she can't wait to be a grandmother.
That was my parents too.
She can't wait. She was talking about my daughter today on the phone. She's like, you guys, I think my daughter's boyfriend they're like ready to do something, marriage or whatever.
Okay.
But they're like, they want to do something.
Oh.
It's wild.
So, well, since we're in the relationship part of the conversation, I heard you say like that you have a girlfriend. How long have you been together?
I've been with my girlfriend for 6 years.
Oh,
6
congratulations.
years. Yeah, it's been a while. I met her. She's not from Albuquerque. She's from a small town called Mora, New Mexico, which is like 3 hours away.
Okay.
And I met her at the state fair, and I got her number, and then we started dating the week after that, and we've been together since. So it's been pretty great. She's cool. I like her a lot.
Okay. Is she here, or is she still in her hometown?
She's here.
Okay.
Yeah, she's here. She's at work. She's going to school for nursing, but it's cool
Our
because
job.
yeah, I have a nurse like to always take care of me. I self-diagnose myself. I'll have something small go on, and I think something way worse is happening. So I needed that, but no, I think it's just all timing. I'm not in a rush. I'm not like, I have a lot of friends. All my friends pretty much are getting married, having babies, and I'm like, I'm just glad I'm in a solid relationship, because I think it'll happen when it does, and my parents will be there to help us, and I think it'll be different, because my dad always says it. It's like when he was my age, he was still working. He hadn't really stepped into the entrepreneurship like realm yet. So like he's helped me get to where, I know a good fair amount of like what I need to do to keep growing this and building this. And so I'm just thankful that like I have this together right now, so that it can help me keep moving forward as we keep taking this to the next levels.
Yeah.
Right.
And you got to always be thinking, next level.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like scaling, where you're not the business. You don't want to be the business, You want to work on your business, but you don't want to be the business, And that's where people are sometimes. They got to get from like being wearing every hat, and you can't do that.
I think that's been our biggest thing, is like he has his things that he's good at. I have my things. My mom's like our interior designer for our store and like just posts, and we work all together as like a team. And we have people that see that, and they come to us and they're like, we want to do something. And so that's where we've been thriving a lot with the social media, is just because there's people that see it and they see it the way we do. And we're like, okay, wow, like we connected with somebody that's on the same page. So now let's see what we can make happen. So I think having this store has been a blessing. And
there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there too in this town, a lot. Because we connect with so many like young entrepreneurs that have, different things. And that's why I think like we're always busy at our store because there's so many different people that we know, like content creators, artists, just different people that like
We
have their own thing going on. We hang out with a lot of those people, and it's nice because we have that in common.
I feel like what's pretty unique about here too is that a lot of the entrepreneurs here are pushing each other up, right? I feel like, except for some areas where people like to like just be competitors for the sake of being competitors, I feel like there's a lot of like small businesses that are just like helping each other and just, pushing each other up. And you
have to like, because a lot of the guys that are his age, you want to help them grow, and it's reciprocal. You know what I mean? So like it's good to really work with those guys, because then it keeps like the family. It's like a family.
Even like when we were first starting, we weren't where we're at now. We were starting, and there's people that believed in us when we weren't really where we knew we could be, and it helped us have that self-belief to keep growing ourselves. And that's what we always say. We're like, we gotta help everyone that we can, because we were once in that position, and people, they might take that to the next level or take it further. And now you knew that person, and he's like, they were with me since the beginning, you know? Dippo from Hydrobar, we were with him when he had one location, San Pedro, and now he has 30, and he has different businesses all over the state, and he's been there, and he believed in us. One of the first big people from Hydrobar was to believe in us. And so,
it's funny, the other day I stopped at one on tramway, and I saw it was just after I talked to you guys, and then I saw the Hydrobar and the water. I was like, oh my god,
the always fresca.
Yep. So that's really cool. All right, so let's dive into all that. And so just because, I mean, we talked about it. I had another person from another company on the podcast talking about Kangen water. And so I know a little bit more, but I have more questions. And so, for people that just tune in on this episode, what is Kangen water?
Well, it's considered ionized alkaline water, which means there's a process which basically we have these small units that sit on your counter or under your counter. They're the best out there is the Enagic brand, which is from Japan. So these are all made in Japan. But what basically you're doing is you're pushing water through these machines, and what it does is it cleans out the impurities, first of all, because it has filters, and we always have even extra filters. So you're getting rid of like chlorine, and you're getting rid of fluorides and heavy metals, stuff like that. So you're getting a pure water with minerals. But what the machine does is it puts an electrical charge in the water. And what that in turn does is it splits your water into two. So you're almost separating the acidity in a way, and you're bringing a healthy alkaline water, a high pH alkaline. But what happens during this ionization is it creates an antioxidant, which is also an anti-inflammatory. So it's reducing inflammation, which is good. It's also hydrogen, which is good. And if you drink it fresh, you're getting good, rich hydrogen, which is good for your blood, and it's just, that's what it does. But one of my favorite things it does is it makes the water smaller, and when it's called microclustered, which means when you drink it, you absorb it quick. And if you look at the data out there, 80% of people are dehydrated. They're chronically dehydrated. So if you're a person that drinks, water here and there, or you even drink on a regular basis, like your daily water, when you drink our water, you actually feel it a lot better, because you're gonna hydrate more, which means better digestive, better sleep, and it's just, you don't even have to drink as much to hydrate. And that's why, like, say athletes like it. They don't feel bloated. They don't feel that fullness they feel So there's multiple properties of the water, antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, high alkalinity, microclustering, hydrogen. So when you add all those together, and then you compare it to like a bottled water that's been sitting in a warehouse for 8 months, and you don't know if there's microplastics or nanoplastics. That water, the heat gets to it. Then it goes acidic, which is not good for you. It can get toxic with the plastics, and it's also very oxidative, which means like oxidation is like the rusting process. So we eliminate all that. So when people say, well, does it make a big difference? I'm like, yeah, because, plus you got to have good source water. So, right now, like the city of Albuquerque, they have decent source water. Believe it or not, it's not bad. I mean, I know guys that work at the water plant, and they tell me they have really good technology, like UV, all this stuff.
Nice.
So if you have good source water, and then you can pre-filter that source water to make it even better source water that has minerals that your body needs. And that's the other thing. Like if you look at bottled water, most of it out there is reverse osmosis, which means it's stripped of all essential minerals. And our bodies need minerals. And if it doesn't find it in the water you're drinking, it's going to deplete it from your body. So there's all these little, elements here. And so when people go, man, I could tell the difference, I'm like, nothing surprises me now. And everyone has a different result. And so I just tell people, give it a chance, like come and see Tim and I, we'll give you a 2-week trial. We just want you to try it. That way you can come visit us for 2 weeks on us. And that way they know,
right?
Especially if they're like regular water drinkers, like I only drink Avion, or I only drink this. I'm like, oh, switch your water for 2 weeks. And, and then don't ask me about it. Talk to all our customers. Ask them what they like, because they'll tell you. Like I'll be talking to a new person there, and I mean, my customers can't help themselves. They just butt in. Let me tell you about it. Let me tell you. I'm like, I just kind of back off, because it's kind of neat, because like they get to hear it from everyday people. So when we found this, like 11 years ago, I never thought I'd be doing this, but like we talk about passion. I mean, you get a little passionate about it because for some reason, like there's people out there that want to help people just like me. I'm sure Tim feels the same way. And yeah, we could have other businesses. We could have done other things, but this to me means, for my sake, it means more than just selling anything else. And so it's just a blessing that we get to work with such an amazing technology.
And so, okay. So yeah, okay, no. So I guess you answered my question, because I had a little flash question that was like, what's the difference between osmosis and Kangen? But you answered that question. And also, I mean, when we bought our home in Edgewood, we invested in a new water system, because the one in the house was really outdated. And then at the time I was about to have my son, and so I was like, hey, actually, we need a really a good water system, which at the time, don't hate me, but we thought that reverse osmosis was the way to go. And so I'm still making payment on that too. And so that's what we have. But
well, for you, I'll be honest, for you probably have the best system for there, because let me tell you something. Edgewood water is not very good.
No.
Okay. So the reason reverse osmosis exists is because not all water is great. So a reverse osmosis for you guys worked, because you have to get rid of everything for it to be drinkable.
Right.
And so that was fine. Now you can add to that. Like say you have your reverse osmosis, we can add the minerals back in, like the calcium, the magnesium, and we can make Kangen water too. So like I said, it's I can understand where you come from on that, but there's a reason for reverse osmosis.
Okay.
But like what we do is, like, say you live in Albuquerque. So Edgewood's tough. But if you live here in Albuquerque and you have decent source water, then it makes all the difference when you can just add pre-filters.
Right.
and remove impurities.
And so, my, I guess, understanding, but probably stereotypically, I want to say, if that makes sense, is that Kangen water is pyramid scheme.
Yeah, people.
If
We
they
get
say
that.
that.
It's a
I feel like it's a bad word, but
It's a pyramid.
so is
No.
would you like to tap on that and just?
I would say, like, if you look at like what we do and you look at like any person with a job, you could call it a pyramid. You know what I mean? People are employees for a manager that have a boss, and then there's an owner of a company. That's
Fair.
considered a pyramid. We're direct sales. So we directly sell to the customers. We do collect an override on the referral of somebody if they sell a machine, but that's at the beginning. And my dad can explain more of that. But when we do help that person who wants to sell machines grow by helping more people, they actually collect more of the lion's share than the person who signed them up. So you can actually outbuild the person
I'll
who
give you a
signed
good example of that, because I've been in other multi-level marketing, not very many, but a couple. And what I liked about Enagic was they have what they call, it's a direct sale, and it's a linear system. So if you were to say purchase one of our units, yeah, we make a commission. Obviously, it's great. But if you didn't want to sell the unit, you don't have to. That's an option. Like, that's not what we don't even promote it that much. We work with so many people that just want the units. And we even tell them after, we're like, hey, if you want to be part of our referral program, fill out the W-9, and if you send referrals, they pay you a commission. So it's kind of like they get a piece of the pie.
Okay.
But that's not the way we really operate, because I feel like the technology that we provide, because we do full service. We install the machine. We have a professional plumber that goes out and puts the machine in. We figure out what they need as far as, like, if they need certain types of pre-filters, certain types of little ionizer faucets. So we do full service, everything from the installation to even after post-sale, where we have to do machine cleanings, mobile cleanings. Like today, we're moving one machine from one house. They just moved, so we have to have our plumber move it to another house.
Okay.
So there's more to that. But I'll give you an example of the way I see our program. I had my insurance agent come in one day, and he was a farmer's, he owned a farmer's agency. And he said, is this one of those pyramid deals? And I said, well, it's direct sales, but I said, it's kind of like your industry, like your program. You're the agency. It's your agency, right? So I said, let me ask you this. I said, how many sales guys do you have? And he goes, well, they're called producers. And I said, okay, how many producers do you have? And he goes, I have 18 producers. And I said, okay, so I have 18 distributors that come and work out of here. So when they make a policy sale, you get paid, right? He goes, yeah. I said, okay. So same with us, they'll get paid. But let me ask you this. If they sell multiple policies, do you ever make less? And he goes, I'm never going to make less. I'm always going to make more. And I said, that's the difference. I said, with our distributors, the more sales they make, the less I make. So they kind of grow out of us. So eventually, like with Tim, when he started, he got enough sales where I don't get paid on his sales.
Okay.
Now, I might get bonused on him if he hits his numbers, but I don't get paid on the sales he does. And he goes, wow, that's interesting, because I would never work that way. And I said, so you have the pyramid, because you're never going to not make money. You're always going to be at the top. You're always going to make more than your producers. See, it's a difference with me. Tim can make more than me this month, and I started before he did. So it's kind of an interesting structure. And I'd like to explain that to people. Yeah, there is commissions paid, but like Tim was saying earlier, I mean, when you look at buying a pair of sneakers, I mean, how many people have made money on that? They didn't make that pair of sneakers for $180. They made that for probably $10.
Right.
And then everybody gets a cut of it. And so the difference with the Enagic is you're getting a medical grade machine that's going to last you 25 plus years. We back it up with the knowledge, the education that we give them, and
The resources.
and the resources. And then when that machine's installed, they love them. I never have anybody tell me they don't like their machine. I mean, we have so many happy people. And then when they need something, we're there for them. And so, and they want to be a distributor, they can be a distributor. If they don't, you just leave them alone.
Okay.
Most people would say, you know, I'll just refer them to you. And sure enough, they'll send people my way anyway.
Mm-mm.
So
yeah, because some people are not salespersons and they just don't.
And I'll call them, like, we'll send them a thank you card. We'll send them a gift card, you know, or we'll tell them like, hey, your cousin came in and bought a machine. Do you want to get the credit for this?
Nobody says no.
Nobody says no.
Nobody says
They're
no.
like, oh yeah.
How much is it?
Right?
That's
So
what
then-
their
And so,
question
and
is.
so how much? So okay. Do you mind talking numbers? So how much is a machine? Like, let's say I want to be a customer and I want to come and buy a machine.
Mm-hmm.
How much is that?
So a junior, they start with a junior unit, which are like in the mid 3,000,
Like
range.
3,300, like 3,700 probably after tax
Yeah,
for a
but-
junior.
like 3,700.
Okay.
And then like one of the most popular machines we have is like 4,380, so $4,380.
Okay.
Arcades, like what is it?
It's 5,380 right now, so around 5,700
And those prices go up at the first of the month
of this coming month for the first time.
because Japan's deal with the U.S. So there's gonna be some tariff kind of pass through stuff. But when I started here, the machine I bought was like $3,980, and that's been like that for years until like maybe a year ago they finally went up $400.
Okay.
But people, they get like kind of sticker shocked at first because they're like, if you don't know anything about it, they're looking at this little machine,
yeah, that's
right?
True, you're right.
They're like
They-
a case of
they
water is
do-
20 bucks or
they do
10
kinda
bucks,
look.
you know.
But then like when we show them everything the machine can do, like making sanitizer, making veggie wash, making like the beauty water, there's so many other like waters that it makes. They kind of like, they're mind blown.
Even just that, like if you go to a store, a Sprouts or a Whole Foods, you're buying 2 for $5 on alkaline waters, or it might even be like 2 for $8.
Yeah.
So when you break that down, how much are you spending in a year? That adds up to
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
a
We've
quarter
done the
of that
math
price.
on that. And the alkaline in the bottles, just baking soda.
They add sodium
It
bicarbonate.
doesn't have the anti-inflammatories. It doesn't have the
that's true.
microcrystalline. So we compare everything. So like what I think I like, what's really good is like there's skeptical people all the time.
Oh yeah.
But I've had people like, I've had a husband and wife come in. The wife loves the water, or the husband loves the water, and they bring the other one in to show them. And like, say it's a husband, he'll be standing there like this with his arms closed. Like, yeah, try to sell me on this. And I'll show them a presentation. His arms drop within 15 minutes. He's asking all the questions, and they're filling out paperwork. So I feel like you have to be educated on this. So like, if you just look at it from the outside and say, hey, there's no way I'll pay this kind of money. Because I did the same thing. I was like, I'm not paying for something like this. But then when I see what it can do and I see all the benefits of it.
But see, when you see like the type of payments that you have to make for like a reverse osmosis or like a system, it's the same. It's just a smaller machine. But
Exactly.
Like I know people that'll get a reverse osmosis for like $7,000, right? I don't know what you paid for yours, but you know, there's different water purification things they do for homes.
oh yeah.
But like, that's the beauty of having Hydrobar. We don't have to try to sell you the machine.
No, you know, to me the best selling point was to just drink the water because it's it's funny because this morning see when we were saying like we wake up early, so I like the early shift at the post office, and like this morning I started at 5:45 and so I feel like sometimes when I then record and then, you know, I do other stuff after, I'm going to go get my son at daycare and stuff. I feel like I have 3 days in one. But all that to say, this morning, she was like, I was telling her I had the podcast later. And the other day I had the bag that you guys gave me. And she was like, so how is it? Like, you know, what's your take? Does it work? And I was like, well, you know, I only drank it like that one time. So I can't attest to, you know, long-term effects of the water, but what I love is I told her it feels like a hug. I can't explain. It's so like, it's soft. It feels like it doesn't feel like any other water. And I'm a water drinker, so I love I want to say customer service.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like what it gives, like it's not the right word. It's like
The
experience of
Yes.
like customer experience almost, and so it's like yeah, it's soft. It's like a
It's light. You don't feel the
yeah.
bloating.
The experience of drinking it is amazing compared
Well, you
to
know,
anything else.
I've had 2 comments like within the last few months, and they said I felt like it was absorbing as soon as I started drinking it, like your esophagus area. And that's no joke. Like when you have a water that's small, you're gonna absorb it fast. So it, that's where you're gonna absorb it at.
Right.
So you don't feel it heavy in your stomach. And so we hear every story out there.
Right.
There's so many lifters to, athletes to people dealing with personal health issues. It's never, every day you hear something
And
different.
what's crazy is like we have like people that make medical claims and we can't publish that. But we have them. We have the videos. They tell us.
So on another level, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it's just sometimes beyond like my comprehension. What's your take on? I mean, we probably know, but I feel like it works, right? You have the years of experience, you have the customers that show you, or at least on a large scale of experimentation on people, you can say that it has benefits.
Yes.
Why is it not more popular? Why is it not a medical grade machine here in the U.S.?
Well, if you think about like just the world we live in, like say the U.S., right? I mean, everything is geared towards, medications and pharmaceuticals, and that's the world we live in. You watch the media and it's, vaccinations, all this stuff, right? So, this is not part of that narrative. It's not, and there, but there's a community out there that really believe in alternative medicine and just healthier things for your body.
Right.
I mean, there's so much new stuff out there, but it's just one of those things. Like our company, they don't hire like celebrities to endorse us.
That is true.
They tell us all the time that money goes back to the field. So if you're just starting out, it goes back in your pocket. It's just like it goes back in the field. No matter what other level you're at, you get a portion of that pie. But it's one of those things that it's never ever going to be like that mainstream thing. But slowly we are getting there, because I think if you look at, like, it used to be we would watch 3 or 4 different TV stations, right, back in the day, and now we have so much competition with podcasts like yours and Joe Rogan, and you have all these new outlets, with YouTube, that people are talking about stuff like this.
TikTok,
like they're talking about it. So more and more people, like I've seen over the last 7 years being at our location, how much it's grown. And now people aren't sitting there going, oh, is this a pyramid thing? No, this is healthy water. Right. Come in and drink it. I don't care if you buy the unit. Drink the water. It's affordable.
It's like, it's not until they're sick or they're in a situation like, hey, I need that water. And we're like, dude, just come by, grab some. And that's how it is for us. We don't push it onto anybody. We're not trying to
pressuring anybody
sales.
To buy it. That's what people like about it. It's like they don't even, we've made great friends there. And so it's more of a, like, and people every week people come up and say, hey, I'm ready for my unit. So we didn't have to ask. Like yesterday, Ron came in. Hey, bud, I think I'm ready for a unit. I said, let's do it. And I gave him, I threw in the faucet. I like to give stuff away, and he was so thankful. And it's one of those things where he's very happy, but it was his decision, and so there was no pressure on my end.
People do that. Even I was at the store on Saturday, and this guy just walked in, and he had bought 2 glass gallons and a 5-gallon a couple of days before, and he was like, I just want to buy one of these machines. And I was like, well, go talk to my dad. He's doing some deals. And he filled out a form on Saturday and then yesterday. And then the day before was my friend's mom. So it's like people are liking, they feel comfortable coming to our store because they know that they can get it by the gallon, or they can get it more consistently if they want to do something for the month. But having the machine at home is always going to be the best because it's fresh and you have it right there.
And with our reputation, like we don't, we take care of people, and They don't have to worry about all the, we get it professionally done. And so they tell other people. So over time, it's just gotten better every day.
Yeah, plus you have a storefront. That's very valuable, because then people don't feel like, hey, they're gonna disappear tomorrow.
Exactly.
And then I'm gonna have a machine on my arms, and I'm being like, oh my god, what is this? But
And that's the thing with some people that sell these machines that are out there. They do it from home, and we let them use our store to do it. Other people, that's what happens is they'll phase out. So people want to go with us more of the time because they know that, like you said, we're going to be there if they need a filter or a cleaning. So that's why we've stayed on this path of not stopping and just consistently trying to like upgrade our store to meet the needs of the people that want to go in there. And if they have questions or ideas, we try to implement them. So we're going to hopefully have more of these locations in the next years, and make it to where there's people that have been with our store, loyal to our store, be the owners of those locations, and they have their own store. And so that's the plan ultimately.
Yeah.
nice. Heck yeah. And so, okay, so when you buy a machine, what's the maintenance on it?
The maintenance is so pretty much the machine has a filter that you replace every year, or if it's an average family of 4, it's good for about 1,500 gallons. So it lasts about a year to a year and a half if you add a pre-filter. When people are owning a machine at their home, they can do home cleanings. The machine comes with a kit to do your own overnight cleanings.
Okay.
If people don't do their cleanings, they can always bring it to our store and we do a deep clean, which they can have their machine back in the same exact day from the deep clean. And then we also sell the filters. So if machine has flakes in it because there's mineral buildup, or if people think it tastes funny and it's time for a cleaning, they can drop it off at our store and have it back the same day.
And what he means by that, the flakes, is that, our water has calcium in it, and you see it like on your shower head, like the white stuff. And so because we don't take the minerals out, you will get a little mineral buildup, but you can do a cleaning on it off, occasionally, and it removes all that.
And so is it something you put on like your house water or on your tap water, like at the tap in your kitchen, or at the
right
house
at the kitchen,
for
right at the kitchen.
the whole house? Okay.
Yeah, because it sits like right on the counter. And
Okay.
I don't know if you saw that. I thought you had seen them.
No, I see. No, yeah, I saw, but I'm wondering when you say like for the shower head.
Oh no, it's just like I meant like, in other words, like I meant like how calcium builds up,
Like on your faucet.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
but
we
it's
do
not
and
meant
we do
to
have a
shower
shower
with
unit.
it.
We do
Okay.
have a shower unit.
Oh, okay.
We have a shower unit just specifically for your shower, one shower, and the machine does sit in the kitchen usually, or it sits on the the wet bar or something, wherever you're getting water anyway. But we do all the extra. We teach people how to keep
to
their
use
machine
it.
clean.
Okay.
That's
So
our
they're
next
not
thing.
that big of maintenance.
Okay. And how much is that yearly to maintain?
Like
maintain
a
it?
filter is going to run you about $165.
Okay.
A cleaning is 75.
Yeah.
So 235 around
once a year. And what he said is like 1,500 gallons is the lifespan on the filter. And if you have a pre-filter, which means sometimes we double up our filters just to get it extra filtered, and those might be like every 2 years.
Okay.
But we educate people on all that. But the maintenance is not much.
No, it
Not
doesn't
for
seem as
quality
much.
water,
compared to
And
maintenance
this is the other thing is like people use it not just for drinking; they use it for cooking. They use it for their coffee every morning, their tea. So
Their pets.
Their pets.
That's a big one.
You use it for everything. Like in our kitchen, I make all our food's made with our 9.5 pH water. We sanitize our house, our bathrooms with 2.5. It's a disinfectant. We use that for skin.
And is it like a dial on the machine to just switch?
It's just a simple button. So you press a button. It's like you can make beauty water for your skin. You can make sanitizer for disinfecting. So it's a multi-use unit. And so it's invaluable. Once you get used to it, it's hard to ever not be without it.
I see.
That's one of the things too. Like we show the pH test and we show the pH levels of everything you buy off the shelf, and our water always shows up like pure purple, the alkaline that's in it. And so when people, like we said, get hooked on that water and they have it fresh, it's hard to go back to anything else. And so that's why so many people are either getting the machine for the home or they stay in the store every other day. They're in there getting water. So it's cool because we've got to make some good relationships with
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
over
yeah.
water.
And so when you say people come to get water, do you have some sort of like a subscription to just come get water?
Yeah,
or?
so we kind of have like this club membership that you know, it's basically, you know, in our store they have access to information, they have access to the water. We even have a small little podcast that people can utilize. We have free Wi-Fi, so like it's kind of a club, you know. It's like you belong to the club. You have access to the machines whenever you want. You know, it's actually better that way because it's more than just, you know, the water. You can have other amenities there that people need. And we do like trainings for people. We do presentations for people. So there's more to the club membership than just, you know, water.
Yeah.
But again, we're made of 80% water. So
Exactly.
That's what I was getting at. I lost my last thought, but what I was going to say was that when we do that pH test and we show the pH levels and then we talk about the alkaline, and our body's foundation is, you know, 70% water, that's one of the things that people like about it, is that they can just make that simple switch to make their body more alkaline. They don't have to change their whole diet. They don't have to take a special medication. They can just change the water that they're drinking, and now they're flushing acidity, toxins, things they don't need in their body out. So then I think that the way that makes them feel, they become addicted to. That feeling of feeling better, not feeling sluggish, tired, with a headache, having acid reflux, any of those things that mostly every person, even still myself, deal with from time to time. But drinking this water, even like having the craving for a soda or a Red Bull, and I drink this water all day long, I don't feel as bad drinking those when I know that I'm drinking this water right after to flush it out of my body. So that's something, yeah.
There you go. You know what's funny is I hear people come in and their kids love it. And I hear that all the time. Like, oh, my kids just love this. And when do you ever hear kids talking about water?
Right, yeah.
And so that tells you a lot right there. That's something that I really, really think about, because I've had parents tell me, oh, no, I'm going out of town, but my kids wanted to make sure I brought water home before we left. And I'm like, interesting. Like, kids are actually asking for it.
Or kids are making fun of their parents for drinking it, their special water, and then they take a swig of it, and then it's gone. The gallon's gone, and now the parents are getting.
We have parents that ration it like for them, like, oh, nobody gets this but me. And I'm like, what's wrong with you, man? Your kids need it too.
Yeah.
You can pick up more water, but they don't want to. They want to just get enough to carry out for them, and they're depriving their kids from it.
But we have people that come in, and there's a father that comes in the morning, then a son in the afternoon, or like families that are in different households.
They
sharing
share that membership, you know,
because they love the water. Even we were at a wedding last week, and the groomsman who was about to do the speech was like, we have the water in the back, to me and my dad. He was like, I was like, oh, dang.
I wasn't going to talk business at the wedding.
He came up to us.
And then his mother-in-law comes up, and she's bragging about the water. And I'm thinking, like, the last thing I was going to do is talk business. And she's talking business. And this is right, like, in the middle of the wedding.
We're waiting in line for our food. So.
And she's, like, talking to us about, oh, I was going to tell you what I've noticed, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, great, that's awesome. But like,
your daughter just got married. Yeah.
Priorities.
But it does become a conversation.
Yeah.
And it's cool that they relate us to that.
Right.
Like, it's a positive thing. It's good water. It's like, that's like, we can connect with every walk of life, which is fun.
It's fun. It's fun to connect with a lot of. I was at UNM yesterday at the football program, and they're getting ready for a season, and they needed some water bags. So I get there, and all the coaches are waiting, and they're just like the nicest people, because they see me, and they're like, "Oh, we love your stuff," So I don't have to convince them,
right?
And the players love it, and it just makes for a fun time when you're connecting with a community that you live in, and you're surrounded by people that support you. It's awesome. That's why I always tell Tim, like, do the right thing, take care of people, do good business. Volunteer, donate, whatever we got to do. It's all part of life.
And I would say another thing on top of that is like, we've like tunnel visioned in on just like moving forward, like no naysayers, skepticism, anything like that even phases us, because the belief of all of the stories and things that we've came across has made that, more of the passion to keep going. And so we're gonna get you hooked on this water. We're gonna get you on it.
We should have brought her more.
We'll bring you some, and if you have time, I know you're in Edgewood, but while you're in Albuquerque, you let us know. We'll either drop it off here, or you come see us at our store.
I would love
We'll make
to.
sure to take care of you.
I know. We're big water drinkers, and right now we're having a hard time at home because I don't know. Yeah, we drink the osmosis, but then it's different. It's different for sure. And then, and of course, like right now we're hooked on those but we do get spring water, bottled water. I guess it's bad, but it's the best of the best.
You're drinking water.
There could be some is it in bottles or glass?
Yeah. The red tag, what is it?
Essentia.
No.
Is it
Ozark?
Oh, that one? No. So that's regular
Arrowhead.
spring water, but yeah. But then we try to get whenever it's on sale because alkaline water is not cheap.
Yeah.
And so we get usually that black label.
a black
Essential,
label?
I think that's it. Essential.
Yeah, we
Do you
test
have
that.
do you have a dispenser at home, like that you put the jugs on?
I have one in a box because right now we don't.
Because we can get you like
the little bottle.
some 5 gallons.
Oh.
I mean, you know, if you live out there, you know, it's not going to be fresh right away, but it's still.
No, but also, didn't I see on the back somewhere that you have to drink it in the what is it?
2 to 3 days. 7
Oh,
days.
I see. To have the best.
But let's say something. It stays alkaline for several weeks,
Okay.
so it's going to stay alkaline. So it's still great. I don't like people to think, oh, you can't drink it after 3 days.
Yeah.
Now you do start to lose your antioxidants, but that's just one property. So like, don't let that discourage you from drinking this a week.
Right,
you know, like even like a 2 weeks later, that's still great. You know, but people do think, oh, I didn't drink it in the first 48 hours. I'm like, yeah, you've probably lost antioxidants, but.
Okay.
It's still healthier than any
Yes.
bottled water that's sap, and that's one of the things we talk about.
That's
We do the
terrible.
test. We show a test with Fiji, and it tests like blue.
Oh.
But when we do all the other tests, it doesn't do well. But we talk about one of the guys that has taught us. He's like, Fiji water is good when you're in Fiji, but the amount of time that it takes for it to get here, the ships that it sits on, the shelves that it sits on, it's like you don't really get the full benefit. So
Yeah.
that's one of the big things we're big on is having the water fresh, but knowing that even in a few weeks down the line, it's still going to be better than anything off the shelf or even tap water. And so, yeah, the tests are like mind blowing. That's what people get hooked on is seeing those small tests, but it also makes them understand it because how often are you testing water? You know, how often are you testing these different things? So it's definitely fun to expose people.
Yeah. And see, in my case, I have Hashimoto's, so I have a thyroid condition. And so which means that I need to pay attention to what I eat. I need to make sure I eat as anti-inflammatory as I can, which is not easy when you like
That's
bread
hard.
and all that. Yeah, good stuff. But all that to say that, you know, we pay attention to everything we buy. And especially now with our son too, it's like, oh my God, like we scan everything. We have this app called Yuka. And so
I've heard of that.
amazing. Well,
I heard
so
it's great.
the thing is, you have to pay attention with it though, because some people like to say that it's like that companies can kind of like buy
They
the
can
result.
pay.
Yes,
Yeah.
the result that you see, but it depends for what you use it for. So for me, I use it to see if there's any and I can't think of the name right now, of course.
Like specific like flavors or like
No,
ingredients.
Oh, you know what? Quick, it's gonna be faster.
The
Let me
is it? It's
remembering.
Yucca. Is it Yucca app or Yucca or
I call it Yuka, but it's
Yuka.
Yuka. And
YUKA.
you scan something
I've
and
heard
then
of
the additives. There we go. And so see when you scan something, like I scanned those yogurts for my son the other day, and they say 63%. And so, but what it shows you the ingredients, but what I look for is the additives, and I kind of look at what you can read, and it has pectin, and so you can read what is pectin and all that good stuff, and there is some that you scan and let's see, I was trying to find good ice cream and then or stuff, and you scan something, let me see, T2. With time you kind of learn to know like something like see like these fruit bar, it says no added sugar for ice cream, but it has 12 additives. and 2 are super high risk, and you can see what it is,
Yeah.
and it's sucralose, and
It's deceiving because they
something you
say
cannot
no.
even
Yeah.
drink. And so it's like, hey, I'm not gonna buy that. And so for me, I look for the additives, and
It's why somebody told me about it
Yeah.
at Costco one day, and I didn't download it.
this one, the carrot yucca,
Okay, I need
and it's
to.
free.
That just like makes me think like, because there's a person that just put one out and it's water. So it's the cases of water you buy in Dasani, Essentia, everything that you can buy off the shelf, but he made one for water. But it makes you think like when you pay attention to like what's in your food, and then you think about, your water is your foundation. That's something that also is like, it should be on the app. I wonder if it's on the app, you know what I mean? Special bottled waters, because then maybe there's ingredients, because there was a water that tested really good at one time that we used to test all the time that was from Las Vegas. It was called Real
Water. It was called Real Water.
Yeah.
And it had antioxidants, and I was like, this guy brought it over to the store, and I had seen it in Vegas, and it was called Real Water, and we tested it, and it had antioxidants. We're like, how is that possible? Like, this is not normal. And I was surprised, and so I kept my eye on it, and then months later found out that they shut it down because people were getting liver failure. So there was additives there. There was some type of additive that was affecting people's liver. So something they were putting in the water to give it the antioxidants were like basically causing problems. So, it's interesting how the additives.
Yeah. And for that, I need to pay extra attention, because especially there are some additives that are hormone disruptors. And I already have a hormone condition with my thyroid. So I can't just take stuff that's going to disrupt my hormonal balance even more.
Yeah.
And so we pay extra attention to that. And that's terrible, because man, most of the stuff you scan is full of additives. It's full of crap. And so, really the only way really to eat better is just to make food yourself all the time.
It is.
Which is hard, you do your best. But so that's why also on top of it, we try to, because we also try to fast. And so alkaline water is really good for that, because it gives you all the minerals and stuff you need.
Yes.
And the beauty about this water is there's no additives. Like, people always ask, what are you putting in the water? And I'm like, no, you got to take good source water, like we mentioned, and then the ionization does the rest after filter, and there's no additives. It's pure water, and you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, it's funny because there's a scandal going on right now in France, because one of the main water factory, their water was not drinkable, and they used extra filters and extra thing to make it like drinkable for consumers, but they didn't advertise it like that though. They advertised it like spring water or whatever, clean water, and not filtered water. And so right now it's a really big scandal, because it's actually really big brands that are known for, like Evian. I don't know if Evian was Perrier.
And is
was
it
part of
harmful right now? Has it been harmful for a while?
Or is it just the lie that they're saying that it's what it isn't?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. They're kind of like not covering it up, but kind of it's just now being known. And so I haven't heard anything yet on, citizens just coming together and say, hey, actually, this came out.
Yeah.
This came out of that.
Well, and that's like the thing too. Even now, like they say that bottled water is most of the time just filtered tap water, but you're buying it because of the brand. Aquafina, Dasani, all these waters are like, Dasani's made by Coca-Cola. They sell more bottled water than they do soda. And that's really crazy to think about, because when you test it, it's acidic, it's oxidizing, it's not quenching your thirst when you think about it at the end of the day. So it's stuff like that, like with these apps and these like stories that you hear, it's like, is the truth being told about what we're actually consuming? And if we have to take it into our own hands to look it up and make that switch, then it's stuff that like you have to consciously do, because they're not going to tell you to do it, or you're not going to be told by somebody that doesn't pay attention to those things.
No.
I think, it's so important, because we talk about that all the time when we test these waters. We're like, this might have been good when it left where it came from, but the, conditions that it was put in changed that and altered it. So that goes for food too, that goes for everything. But it's good that we're conscious and we're aware, because then that makes us feel a little bit better about, the decisions we make. So,
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the podcast too, because like you were mentioning earlier, before there is only like you said, like 3 channel, or you just you only had like one source, or maybe like 2 of information. Like you had the TV, and then you had
Cable,
and newspaper, right?
Yeah.
And then and word of mouth, like talking with your neighbor when you took the trash out, stuff like that. But that was it. Today you have YouTube, you have podcasts, you have radio, you have way more sources of information where we actually choose who we have as a sponsor, or who we talk about, or and so
people are researching more now, because there's so many different like ways to understand, I'm fascinated right now with these new peptides out, right? And they're amino acids, and I'm like pretty fascinated with them. And like you can go down a rabbit hole, stuff like that.
Yes.
But that stuff normally was like, oh, those aren't good. Mainstream media would tell you don't take these because it affects sales of pharmaceuticals.
Of course.
It does that. So they hide it from you. Now you can go deep into like all types of different, internet searches, whether it's YouTube or not. And then you learn.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, you learn about this
my new
stuff. And
best
then
friend.
you realize, you get on ChatGPT and you ask it all these questions. And then it learns who you are, and then it gives you good advice like that. But that stuff didn't used to exist. Now people are really, they're researching more, which is important. You have to understand what you're putting in your body and what's good for you, what's not. Like fasting. I like intermittent fasting. Sometimes I don't eat till 2:00, and I'll do some black coffee in the morning. And like my last meal was at 8:00 the night before, but I want to see how long I can go without having to put carbs or anything in my body.
Yeah, I see that a lot too. I think it's also because of my Hashimoto's, but man, I have those like huge spikes depending on what I eat, and so that's why I'm really trying to. So I love your guys' water, because I'm really trying to make sure that whatever I consume is the best that I can. But yeah, whenever I consume like carbs and stuff, that's the worst thing.
I have a hernia that I'm dealing with right now, and anytime I eat spicy, heavy stuff like that, it's affecting me. So I'm having to be kind of conscious about what I'm doing. But this has helped tremendously with just getting down, digesting, not having as much of the reflux. All of those things have been because I'm drinking good water. Nice. I know.
We take that everywhere. Like we go to restaurants and we don't care. We take it. You can't bring that in. We're gonna eat here. We're gonna drink it. We bring it in. Kick us out if they want. I don't care. But we're gonna bring our own water in.
And see, it's funny because when I was pregnant, I got that from my stepmother. I used to think like, oh my God, like really, like sometimes I would go eat with her, and when she was pregnant, she would always say, I need a bottled water. And when they brought it to the table and it was open, she said, I want to see the bottle closed, because a lot of establishment would just refill it with tap water.
Yep.
But when you're pregnant, you can actually not drink any water. And so, I mean, you can, everybody does whatever, but it's better to drink actually real good water. And so when I was pregnant, I did that too at the restaurant. So full circle, but, I made sure and it was closed, but yeah, no, it's terrible. People that also, because, okay, so sorry, my brain is going a million places at once, but when you were saying it's so good because right now everybody, you can do your own research and all that, but you also have to be careful. And that's where I really love that you guys are a mom and pop shop and you have your storefront and stuff, because then people can really like see and talk to your customers, like you were saying, because there's a lot of people out there that are not with the best intention at heart.
Exactly.
And that can take advantage of this wave of selling to each other and trusting each other to actually not sell you the best that's out there.
True. Just kind of like false advertising in a way. That's why I love what we do. Like my dad says, he's like, I go to sleep good every night, like knowing that people are happy with their machines. Like I'm not up like, and there's people that are out there that are like that and that don't really have the best like heart moving forward with that kind of stuff. So we want to just continue to do right by people and just, do the right thing, because that's what has helped us get to where we're at and connect
building
with
a
people.
reputation,
right?
Getting people that we connect with and I can't, I can have no complaints.
Right. And you can fake it, which brings me back to, I actually almost forgot, but okay, this is going to sound creepy, but when I visited you guys last time, before I left, I didn't spy on you, I promise, but before I just left my parking spot, I saw you and your wife together just kissing before I think she left. I think I overheard she was getting you a dog or whatever. But it just struck me as, oh my God, this is so cute, because I mean you have 3 grown children, and I can tell that the love is still there and it's still strong. So do you have any advice for us youngsters? Because I've been married 6 years, and I mean it's going amazing too. But how long have you been married, and what do you do?
29 years.
29 years?
Yeah. Damn. And get this, I have a 30-year-old, so go figure that. No, because we weren't. We got married. Actually, we got married after Tim was born.
Okay.
So we weren't, actually married when we had both my daughter and Tim. Mm-hmm. But I think marriage is always going to be challenging, because especially when you work with your spouse, there's times we don't, she's like, why don't you leave for a while? but it's challenging.
Yeah.
But I think we both have the same type of idea. We want to raise our kids right, and we want to be part of their lives. And I don't, even though, you go through ups and downs,
yeah.
It's worth it, because it's like an investment. You invest in that relationship. And so you do everything you can to keep that, and we do a lot of things with each other. We don't do a lot of things outside each other. We try to keep, we try to make plans like trips and family vacation, stuff like that. But it's every day's it's another day. We just got to keep working at it. Because I don't want to be without my wife. She's awesome.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's a great mom. She's a great dog mom. She's gonna be a great grandmother. And and
wink,
then
wink.
and our parents get along too. So I get along with her parents, she gets along with mine. Her family, my family's just like her family. We're like one big family. So
nice.
It's awesome.
And is everyone still in Santa Rosa, or
they're around everywhere?
Around everywhere.
Yeah, my brothers live out of town. My parents are still there. Her parents are still there. But but yeah. So we get to, and they come up all the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I guess that's also why you have such a big family culture in your family. That I guess that's also why people can see that in your business too.
Yeah, I think so. And we treat people good. So it was just our upbringing. I think both of us were brought up treat people good, give them, and that helped,
We have we have a partner, and his name is Dennis, and his his name is Linda, and they're probably 15 years older than my parents, but people think that that's our grandparents. So they think
so
that
funny.
it's even more of a family. They're like, I met your grandpa. And I'm like, no, that's our partner. So they probably think it's that's his dad and his mom.
That's funny.
And
3 generations.
And I'm with my parents. It's yeah, exactly. So it's fun. They're cool. They're older. They're a little they have their way of doing things, but I think we balance each other out good. All of us do.
Nice. Well, that gives you 3 generational perspectives. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, because it's he's used to mail and radio, and my dad's used to TV, and we're doing Instagram and TikTok. Yep. So it's the ways of marketing and but he's not trying. My dad's not trying to be stuck in that way. He's what are these guys doing? How are they doing it? He's watching TikTok. He's on YouTube looking up, mixers and cameras. And so it's he keeps himself in our age in the right ways.
I hang out more with their age. I do. I hang out with more of their age.
UFC fights.
Oh, that's fun.
I go to the UFC. We do all the stuff with these
Logo
guys.
games.
Is that how you say young? Because you don't look 55.
So. Well, I feel 55. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's I don't know. It's I believe in just having fun and doing the things everybody else is doing. I'm not ready to slow down.
Nice.
Maybe that's what it is. I'm not really ready to slow down.
See, my dad also says that. He says, "Oh my God, I'll just rest when I'm dead." It's he likes to say that.
Exactly.
There's plenty of time to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think, live life, I do have to slow down sometimes. I sometimes have to okay, it's time to relax. But
All right. Well, Timothy and Tim, we have 2 traditions on the show, but we'll start with the first one. I have 2 stacks of cards. One is a stack of life questions, and one is a stack of expressions. And you can either both take a card of in each stack, or take a card of each, whichever you prefer. And then you can read it to us and let us know if it means anything to you.
Okay, you go first. Ed.
okay, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. Steve Jobs. That's great. I think he also has, what was that quote that he had about being crazy? Like the Crazies. It's called the Crazies.
I don't know.
You have to look that one up.
It's like they
Look that one up.
Yes.
And I love that quote by him. Anyway, do you want me to do the other one?
Sure.
Okay. Don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going. Sam Levinson. Don't watch the clock. That's true too. Like I said.
the clock keeps going.
Yeah. Just keep rolling with it.
Quote. Okay. Wait.
Read. That's one.
It's-
That's one cool.
Oh, it's a long one. Okay.
It's not even a quote. It's like a statement.
Oh, yeah. Here's to the crazy ones. Here's to the crazy ones. The misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the one who see things differently. They're not found of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them about... Attends, 1 second.
Like that's me.
About the only thing... Attends. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at reading. And there's ads that popped up on my screen. Yeah. I lost my line. The troublemakers, we say that?
It's a great quote.
Okay. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify them, or vilify them about the only thing you can't. Oh my God! About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see geniuses, or we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Oh,
It's a
Steve
great-
Jobs. Okay.
It's a great statement.
It was terribly read. I'm sorry.
But when you think about the people that have changed things, like the Elon Musks, they've done things that people didn't think they were going to do, but they didn't care. They just did them anyway.
Exactly.
And then they found the right people to surround themselves around. Because I don't feel like one thing I've learned about life is that everybody has their own strengths, right? So it took me for years to kind of think I can't do it all. I used to try to do it all, but instead find out what you're good at, and then surround yourself with the people that can complement that, and then you can do big things. And that's really kind of I like that quote, because you should believe in what you really want to do, and then go for it, and then you'll find people along the way that will support that.
And you need a team
You
to
do.
go far.
You can't do it all yourself. I used to try to do it all myself. That was the issue.
Yeah, I'm like that right now. and then I'm like, oh my God, I need to find another me. But no, I don't need to find another me. I need to find people that specialize in different things so that I can
Well, look at
delegate.
Lester. Lester, you look at.
Oh, yes,
he's
amazing.
you don't have to worry about that. That's one thing that Lester you have to worry about, because you found somebody good that can do this. You can focus on what you're better at.
Okay, let me
Go ahead.
Mine is you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Zig Ziglar, R.I.P. R.I.P. Zig. He was the man. We still listen to him sometimes. He's really good. And then this says, what experience has shaped you the most?
It's a question, huh?
I would say the experience that shaped me the most was knowing that I didn't want to make myself look funny by going backwards when I stepped into doing this. So I knew that I had my back against the wall and I had to go all the way. Because if I went backwards and they're like, "Oh, you're still doing that water thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." Like, and we're killing it right now. So that's my like a thing that shaped me, because I was living at home. I wasn't making money. I was doing everything that I shouldn't be. And when I knew that like I was going to quit working at a job, I was going to quit doing everything else, that was when I decided I was going to take it serious. And that's when everything changed. That's what got my dad even more excited to do it, because I was doing it. So
yeah, we kind of motivated each other, because you have a younger perspective of like he was mentioning earlier, like social media and marketing and all that, and I back him up on that, because that's what he's good at. And then it's like me, it's like more traditional business, relationships,
experience,
like belly to belly kind of bit, like shaking hands, like that's kind of my thing. So I've drug him into some of that too, because not everything can be done just virtually.
Oh no,
but that's a problem. Like you know things that I don't, that my generation overlooks. Yeah. Meaning like looking people in the eye and being there on time and doing all these things that we're like, I'll get there soon. Like
a lot of the new generation they're just instant gratification kind of thing. So you have to balance that out with this business. With any business.
Yeah. That's why I really appreciate you guys just also not calling me out on my bullcrap, but like saying, because I emailed you and then I sent you a message on Instagram, and then you're like, "Hey, stop by the store." And I was like, yeah. Like, what? And of course, like I'm out of town.
I didn't get your email. Did you get the email?
I did. Yeah, I got it. And I said, I seen your podcast, come by the store. And then you got there. And then I was like, wait, I know you. Cause then you said you're Marie. So then I was like, okay, that's the podcast right there. And it was the day that we happen to all be there. Cause some days it's just my mom or him or one of us.
I'm so glad I got you all. Yeah.
Yeah. We were all there.
But that's kind of like how we have to do it, is because we get Instagram messages or emails, and sometimes we're just busy and we miss them on accident. But when people come in and they meet us, then we're like, oh shoot, like now we know, you know? So it's been,
so thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Great meeting you.
Thank you for dropping in.
Of course.
And having us on the show.
Yes, I'm so excited. So speaking of, we do have one last tradition, which is, so every episode I ask my guests to write a question for the next guest without knowing who it's going to be. And so my previous guest was actually a couple. It was Vanessa and Gilbert from Toddlertown. I don't know if you know them. They do rental bouncy houses and soft play for toddlers and under, and they're amazing. I used their services for 2 years already for my son's birthdays.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're really fun. And so they have a question each. So I guess I'll say the first question, and whoever wants to answer, you let me know. But the first question is, what's one thing you would change about your childhood and why? Do I have a taker?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay. I wish if I could go back and change anything in my childhood, that I had a great childhood, but I would say if I had to change one thing, I wish I
had a different dad. Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was too tempting.
I would say that's a hard question, because if I had to change anything in my childhood, I did the reading clubs. I was in the sports. I tried to behave, and I was still in trouble all the time. But I would say if I had to change anything, it would just be to listen more. Just keep listening more, and just like, because I know sometimes I think I have all the answers and I don't. And then when I think I do is when I'm like without an answer. So that's the thing, is I just listen more, take advice, have as much respect as I can for people, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay, that's a pretty good answer.
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have a prod deck next to you.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to change things I can't, but I know that that's the things that I want to work on, just moving forward and everything.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the second question is, what's one piece of advice you have received from someone that you would give to the world? a piece of advice you got for someone that you would give to the world?
That's I don't know. There's so many. There's so many of that one.
I'm trying to think. Is there any bosses that gave you any good advice? Old bosses that were like, you got to go. This isn't for you.
You know, one thing I always tell these kids, and it's just a little bit, you know, I always, because, you know, when you have kids, they like to do it their way sometimes. So I always tell these guys, look, you can learn from my mistakes or you can learn from your own.
Huh.
And all that means basically is, like, I try to give them wisdom because I have so many more experiences, right. And they forget that. They like, oh, Dad, you know, whatever. But then later on, they're like, hey, you were right. And I remember my mom, you know, telling me things, and then I'd be like, damn, she was right again. I didn't listen to her. You know, so I always think, like, you can make that mistake if you want, but you can avoid that mistake by taking some, you know, some advice, whether it's a relationship thing or, you know, just
past experiences.
Mm-hmm. So that's like one thing that, you know, because I keep life simple. I don't try to overthink things, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, take care of people, take care of your body, you know, treat people good, you know, educate, you know, whatever mm-hmm. way you can. But, you know, that's probably the best I can say. I mean, there's so many different pieces of advice out there that that I could probably mention.
Mm-mm. You
that's
seem
just
at
something.
Peace with life.
Very. Yeah, I don't stress out. I can't. Mm-mm. You know, I can't. It's been too good to me.
You worked for it.
I've been working my butt off, but nowadays, like I said, I just want to have fun.
Nice.
You know, I want to do business like in a way that, you know, I want to have a good time. Mm-mm. I don't want to be stressed out because, like, you can always make more money. You know, that's no big deal. You know, I'm not worried about that. It's not always about the bottom line. You know, it's like I have a lot of flexibility in what I do, and so I don't stress about the little things anymore. I probably did at one time, but I don't do that anymore. Mm-mm. You know, life's too short. You know, have friends. I mean, what's life about anyway? It's like, you know, good family, taking care of your family, good friends. You know, I see friends that fight with each other about little, like, money usually, and it's like, yeah, your life, you know, so you have more money now, but you're by yourself.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
we know
you had an affair on your wife. Well, now you're by yourself. Now you're regretting it. You're by yourself. It's like, take care of the people around you. You know.
You know, people with money, all the money in the bank, and they're not happy because they're missing those things. They're missing that relationship,
the little things,
that friendship or family, whatever it may be. So you have to enjoy every day. Even my barber said that. Even on the most regular, normal day, you have to, like, enjoy it. Mm-mm. But that's, yeah. It's been good. It's been good. We're going to keep going.
It's been a breath of fresh air to have you on. I'm so glad. Before we head towards the end of our episode, I was curious about your shirts because I just noticed that I didn't just notice, this is bullshit, but because I did see that before the episode.
Because he spelled the name wrong?
No, I abbreviated.
We just mess with people on that.
It's funny because I was going to say you just took the vowel, how do you say that in English? The vowels out, but then there's a Y, so it's not completely out.
So these guys are like, they create some really cool merch.
I was going to say, do you have merch that people can
get?
Well, not just laying around. Like, we have to order stuff, but like, our next goal would be to, like, really stock up on a lot of different things.
Put up a store for merch and accessories.
So, like, with Hydrobar, like, I kind of see it as a bigger brand than just the water.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, one day we might have Hydrobar meals. We might have Hydrobar supplements. I think it's just a brand that these guys have really focused on to make it good. And that's why we're very careful with our reputation, because we want to make sure that we have the best rep, the best tasting, the best, healthiest water, everything, because we want to take care of that brand and then move that brand to other things that might, you know, be health related.
Oh, yeah.
But the shirts have been, we're just trying to get creative with everything, because the bag was the first thing people were carrying. And then we did, like, wristbands, and then people don't take these off, you know, and then a lanyard. So then somebody pulls up to the gym and they have a bag, a lanyard. We're like, well, we need some T-shirts. So like even Josh Grego, who was one of your last guests, he and I swapped a T-shirt for a T-shirt because he did the Against the Grain in the Marlboro font. So it was a cool shirt, but that's what we've been doing. I had a barber who came and brought me a shirt, and I swapped him a shirt. So it's cross-collaborating the brands, but the guy who's designing is one of like our close family friends. So he's helped us since the beginning. His name's Kellogg. So he's literally there for us in any single moment if we need him on the fly. If it might take a couple weeks sometimes, but he always delivers, and that's what we've been focusing on, is like capturing the culture, and then the youth, and then like the people that are growing up with this brand. Like right now, we've been doing this 7 years. That's the same amount of time a kid goes through middle school and high school. And it's like, so then they were seeing this when they were in 6th grade, and now they're graduated and they're still seeing our brand. So they grew up with this, but now we're trying to cater it to where it's fun. We're doing stickers, we're doing T-shirts. We're going to have a beer pong tournament, but it's going to be all water. So it's like, it's a water pong, but it's like, we're trying to get creative and have fun. So it's going to keep evolving. It'll keep growing, and we're going to try to just keep having fun with it.
Yeah, that's fun, because that's where I was going to take you and say, you know, where do you see yourself in a couple years, or what's in the even near future? Do you have any fun like collabs or anything that's coming up that people can meet you at?
You know, we just keep adding to the everything.
List.
We just keep adding to the list. Like we were in Memphis a couple weeks ago, meeting with a good friend of ours. His name is Diego Pavia. He's like one of the hottest quarterbacks in the NCAA right now. And last year he upset Alabama, #1 team. And he's just his family's really great people, and they're good friends of ours. And you know, it's like those collaborations with people like that. It brings a lot of attention, and we're trying to help them too. Like I said, we installed a machine at his house, and you know, just basically trying to stay on top of, you know, everything right now, and just taking care of people like that. And it goes far.
I was going to say though, like, even not to interrupt you, but it's more than just a water machine. It's like a relationship now. It's like, like we're like, their family loves us, and same goes for us. You know, it's more of like, the water's the way that we connect with people. Like we find common ground with somebody, and then they like, we want to help them, and they want to help us. And it's like collaborations all the time.
It's such a fun metaphor, because if you think about it, through time, water, like through the water, through traveling, like that's how people make connection too.
Yeah.
You know?
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you perpetuating that? Sorry, sometimes my French is like, hey, and then I'm trying to say it with an English accent. Just
you're right though. Like it connects people, you know, and our product has connected we were able to connect with so many diverse group of people. Like there's not, like, people always ask me like, who's your customer? Who's your demographic? And I'm like, you know what our demographic is? It's people that want quality water. That's it. It could be just the most random people you can imagine. You know, there's just a certain person out there that appreciates good water, and they could be from any demographic. So there's not really a demographic for us, you know.
Any walk of life.
Yeah.
Even animals. All the animals.
And when you can connect with that diverse group, it's great, because then you get to know so many different people. It's not just one group of people.
I know that's what I love about the podcast too, because it's not about like one type of person that I interview. It's just everybody. We all have crazy stories, and that's what I love to say is, it's not that I don't care about celebrities and stuff, but they already have their own channels and you know, point of contact. They can go talk to Joe Rogan. Hopefully, I'll get there one day. But this is about sharing stories of people like you and me, and we all have crazy walks of lives and stories to share, and I want to take care of each other, and build each other up, and keep growing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We're thankful we got to share our story on your
and to meet you,
podcast.
just to meet you in general.
Yes.
You're
Me too.
great. You're great. You know,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
And this will keep growing if you just keep it going, because
I will.
you got a great show going, and you know how to ask
Thank
the right
you.
questions, and yeah, very personable.
I try. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Is there anything else you wanted to add before?
Do we add that question for them?
Yes. So once we stop the cameras, I'll have you write the questions down, and I actually don't read them until the next time, so that it's a surprise for me too. So you'll have to stay tuned for the next episode to see what Tim and Timothy are going to ask our next guest.
Yep.
No, well, thank you so much for sharing. I feel like I had more questions, but maybe we'll be due to an episode 2. And,
Nice.
You know, maybe I'll come to your studios. We'll see. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yep. We'll bring your team.
Yes, thank you. And if you have any questions for them, if you're interested in the water, please reach out. And water is important, and it's not tasteless. This is actually very smooth water, very hydrating water. We talked about it all, I think. But perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Marie.
Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I always end up saying that at the very last second. So don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want to know when the next episode comes out, even though you already know it's going to be next Thursday. So have a good one and see you next time. Bye-bye.